Okay, YouTube, now here's a freestanding configuration. What I've done is I've got a center pole in the middle. Again, it's underneath of a reinforced spot at the top. That one right back there, you could put another pole in there to increase the amount of room. You can see where I've folded the back corners in a little bit here. Basically, now you've got a two-man tent, freestanding with just your walking poles. And what I did, ooh, look out, falling objects, is there's the center line down that seam, and I staked it one off on either side, went to an angle to the first tie up past the corners. I did that on both sides. And then what I did was just pulled it tight along the side here. Not too tight, I could probably move that stake forward a little bit. Makes a nice entrance. Took an extra tie down, wrapped it around the first tie down from the center position here. And as you can see, it's following this seam right here. Right on along. The handle for the walking stick is right under that reinforced spot. Pull the corners back. Now I just tied it to the stake that's back here in the back. I could put, more stakes in to secure it if it's a really windy, really wet, even snowy environment. But this gives you a little vestibule, if you will, place where you can come in, come out. You can release these side guys, bunch all the material together, and quasi-semi close that door. Again, just another stake, and it runs right down that seam. That's kind of important that we keep that seam in there for strength and tension. I've done the same thing on this side, configured it back. And again, if you had a tree behind you, you could take that particular tie out, not necessarily the center one, which is now somewhat up at the top, but you could tie off to that one, pull that out, and make quite a bit more room in there. Where it's a little flat back here on the two corners, it would stand that up and give you plenty of room for your feet if you were sleeping in that configuration. And again, you've got a two-person setup. Instead of using the walking stick, if you had a tree that you could pull that up to, then you'd have, in essence, room again for three people comfortably. And your gear to keep it in and out of the weather. Now there are 2 or 3 different configuration differences from here. I could pull this corner out, which would be right in here. I could stake it down. Then it would come back further down this side. Then I could put that walking pole underneath here. Use a couple of stakes then for this one right here, this one in the center, and that one to create basically a walled back end. Again, making room inside of this thing in an exponential fashion. So this is just yet another configuration. This one is freestanding. See if we can come back up to the front. Plenty of room to crawl in and out. We'll go inside and I'll show you just how much space you've got in here. All right. I'll stand this pole up straight here. And again, plenty of space. And if this had that pole in it, or you could release a little bit of tension on the sides and give this a little bit more room to stand up. This is a small, easy, freestanding configuration. Again, I'm sitting inside of this. I've got my hat on. I've got plenty of space up over the top. There is just quite a bit of room inside this. It is amazing what you can do with this particular tarp. Anyway, that's a brief rundown on all the various configurations that you have for the DD 3x3 tarp. Again, 790 grams. It's 3 meter by 3 meter, which makes it 9'8" by 9'8". And I think everybody should have one of these. It's an absolutely wonderful tarp. If you have any questions, feel free to give any comments or anything like that, and I'll respond back, answer any questions that you may have, as much as I know anyway. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you outdoors.